This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is President and CEO of Kutcho Copper, Mr. Vince Sorace. Vince, how are you today?
Great, Gerardo. How you doing?
Fantastic, fantastic. It's good to hear from you. I've been hoping for an update. You provided a great one this morning. You are in the process of doing some expansion drilling at the Kutcho project, and you drilled 28 meters of 5.7% copper equivalent, including 10.4 meters of 12% copper equivalent. I think it's important for people to realize that the broader intersection, there was 28 meters of specifically 2.09% copper, 6.1% zinc, 65.8 grams per ton silver, and 0.82 grams per ton gold. Can you provide some color there, Vince?
Yeah, this is it's a great intercept, and it speaks to, the high grade tenor of the SO lens in particular at the project, and I guess the overall nature of things. And it's grade is king. And when you have a project like this that can yield robust tonnage such as this. That's what we like about this project, and I think that's what's going to make it a very economic project at the end of the day.
Now, you're also in the process of gathering data for a feasibility study that you're hoping to have completed by Q2 of 2019. Is that accurate?
Yes, that's correct. The crux of all the work we're doing in the field this year is to feed into that feasibility study, and we're probably 7-8 months away, I'm guessing, from something like that, and we've been doing everything in the field from all of our the hydrogeological drilling, geotechnical drilling, metallurgical drilling, everything on the environmental side, collecting baseline data. So all that stuff that kind of feeds into the feasibility study, which eventually feeds into permitting, is what we've been working hard on. And at this point now, we're getting into the more exciting phase of the program, where we're doing our resource expansion and conversion drilling. So there'll be lots of news around drill results over the coming number of months.
Now, all of this takes money. I know on mid-August, August 15th, if I'm not mistaken, you completed a $4.14 million financing. And then a week later, you followed that up by receiving an additional $3.5 million US from Wheaton Precious Metals. What's the cash position looking like?
Well, we're probably sitting around. We're spending money pretty quickly these days because the program's pretty intense. For this field season, we're probably sitting around maybe $6 million, give or take some right now. But we're spending. We want to get this done. We want to get it done right, and we're not slowing down. Markets are tough, but we're going to keep progressing this project to get this feasibility study done. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest benchmarks or changes for Kutcho, and potential re-rates for valuations on this project. So we're going to hit that mark.
I got to imagine with the due diligence that goes into receiving funds from Wheaton Precious Metals, they got to be a happy partner up until now.
Yes, they've always really liked this project, and they see it as a good viable piece to their pipeline moving forward. So Wheaton's been a great partner in the project, and great supporters of Kutcho.
You also have this, and this is something that doesn't get a lot of attention, but you also have a project called the TCS property. You've initiated a service program at that property. Can you tell me a bit about that project for those that aren't familiar?
Yeah, the TCS property is it's a nice greenfields opportunity. It resides close to Kutcho. It's the same Kutcho formation, so the same geology that goes through this. We've got some good soil anomalies, and it's completely untested. So not a drill hole into these anomalies, and as I said, sitting in similar geology, and within proximity to our site. So if there was a discovery there, it could be part of the same mine plan. So, we're going to start work on that. We're doing some mapping on it this year, and I think coming into the new year, we'll be getting a little more aggressive with the exploration plans on TCS. But it does offer that pure greenfield upside opportunity.
You mentioned the re-rating potential with the feasibility study. You already have a pre-feasibility that has a net present value at 8% of 265 million Canadian, payback in 3.5 years, pretty low capex. What's the market cap looking at right now? Because there's obviously a disconnect between value and share prices throughout the sector.
There is a big disconnect, and it's not only us. Of course, it's a lot of guys are feeling the pain out there right now. But I just think Kutcho's trading exceptionally cheap. I think we must be trading at maybe about a 0.1 P to NAV right now. Our market cap's what about $15-16 million. I think it's extraordinary value down here.
Well, we talked off air about the cyclicality of these markets. They always come back. Kutcho's as compelling of an opportunity as I can find, frankly. I mean, you have an established resource. I believe in copper. I believe in the infrastructure build out and the electrification of everything and how copper is going to contribute to that. And I think zinc's held up well despite the most recent pullback. Any thoughts on the overall markets before I let you go?
Yeah, I think from what I gather and consensus on the street amongst analysts and the investment community is copper is where everyone's kind of putting their bets. And I think with the current what we're seeing is a bit of noise in the markets a lot of noise in the markets with respect to the trade wars going on around the world, especially the U.S. and China. And I think that's kind of dampening the current copper price. But I think the current copper price is not reflective of the fundamentals. It is just getting beat up because of all the trade noise. So hopefully we can get over that hurdle, and we see copper bounce. But nevertheless, I think the fundamentals are still in place. So the future for copper looks really good.
Well, Vince, you have a lot of news flow these coming months. I'm looking forward to having you back on as you get some of these assays published and these results from all the studies.
Thanks, Gerardo. Always a pleasure.
Thank you, Vince.